back-to-back nights, they started playing some D. Held Boston to, 95, and a very high-scoring Atlanta team to 99. Both teams got a lot of doses of Montrezl Harrell. I like the final minute from last night. You got LeBron blocking Clint Capella's shot, and Schroeder with the big steal from behind of Trae Young. So the Lakers really needed to do big things. They did on defense. Can't forget Caruso's offensive rebound, but that's not really my point here. But so far this season, Lakers have played 22 games, held 8 guys below 100 points. If you're telling me you can hold guys under 100 every third game or so, that's something in this modern-day age of NBA basketball.
Yeah, you bring up a great point there, Brez. What about for you, number 2, BT?
Guido, how about this? I agree with Mike Bresnahan, the defense.
About time.
I mean, it could have been won by the defense. Let's just start with in Boston when AD has a turnover. Caruso hustles back. He forces Jaylen Brown to take a bad pass. He can't get a good shot off, so he passes the ball, and then the shooter comes back. They build a wall. The next thing I know, they stop him. And then against the Hawks, the Lakers were up 1. They finished the game on a 9-2 run, playing great defense, getting good offense out of that. Their defense in late games has been phenomenal. They have to keep that up all season long.
What about for you, Brez, number 2?
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this team is better than last year. You know, if you look at the records through 22 games, that's not true. It's 16-6 versus 19-3 a year ago. I get that, but I really do see – I've seen enough of this team in the last couple weeks to really feel that way. It's the supporting cast. Montrezl Harrell is just making such a difference, brings the energy every night. There was that one weird game in Philly where he got in foul trouble, didn't score, but between him and Dennis Schroeder doing it really on offense and defense. Last night he had the big bucket and then the big steal that we just talked about. Can't forget THT as well. What a difference a year makes. Obviously not a newcomer, but definitely part of the supporting cast. BT just talked about the new rotations. I think THT is here to stay in it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming into the year, that when Frank would go to a 9-man rotation about 20 games in, THT would be the 9th guy. But, of course, BT is saying he saw it. He saw it in the bubble.
Of course he does.
He wants some credit. You want some credit? You looking for credit?
Yes, I am. Please.
Okay, I'll give you some credit.
Give me some love. Can I get some love?
You get some love. You get some love. And listen, the Lakers' final road trip stop in Atlanta saw some fans, by the way, ejected from Monday's game after a verbal spat with LeBron James. Juliana Carlos and her husband, Chris Carlos, he's Daddy Carlos on Instagram, exchanged words with LeBron in the 4th quarter, which led to their ejections from the arena. Following the game, LeBron shared his thoughts on the fan interaction.
I'm happy fans are back in the building. I miss that interaction. I need that interaction. We as players need that interaction. I don't feel like they was warranted to be kicked out. There was a back and forth between 2 grown men, in which we said our piece. He said his piece. I said my piece, and then when someone else jumped into it and said their piece. But I didn't think they were, should have been kicked out. But they might have had a couple of drinks maybe, and they could have probably kept it going, and the game wouldn't have been about the game no more. So I think the referees did what they had to do. And it's fine. I don't think, taking down the mask or whatever the case may be at that point in time, would have harmed anybody but the people that was right next to her. I wasn't close enough to her. I don't think any of my teammates was close enough to them. Maybe a couple of the rest, maybe. So I hope they're okay. But safety first.
She has since issued an apology for her behavior last night via Instagram, taking some responsibility for her part. LeBron dubbing her courtside Karen, by the way. That was trending today. That had me, I was very entertained following this today, BT. What a good time.
This is what I want to know. What kind of coat did she have on? I mean, that was a beautiful long.
You're the fashion expert.
BT, she went from like 17,000 followers to I think 64 in a matter of a couple hours.
Wow, that's a big move.
That coat. Yeah. Courtside Karen, go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Courtside
Look at the hair. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
This is awesome.
This is some good stuff, man. Basketball is so entertaining. I'm glad fans are back too. Thank you, Courtside Karen, for entertaining us last night. And you too, LeBron James.
That was my point, Brez.
Yes.
This is what I'm taking away. We miss the fans.
Yes.
The guy in Cleveland, the staff member heckling LeBron. Thank you. That got the Lakers the win. Courtside Karen and her husband.
They're right.
But we thank you.
But do we miss the fans? Because now you can hear all these things. You can see all these things.
Yeah.
Maybe LeBron didn't pick out the Cleveland front office employee kind of laughing at him. If there's 18,000, 19,000 fans in the stands, he probably would have been able to pick out what was going on last night. They were starting to walk onto the court, take the mask off. That's a no-no.
Yeah.
And
LeBron touched on that.
No doubt.
And he's
no
right.
doubt. Yeah, I mean, but for sure, you miss the vibe of the crowd. You can tell the players feed off of such a thing. Does LeBron want to be getting motivated by fans every night? No, that's probably not the case. But without a doubt, you and I watched Kobe Bryant and BT, you as well. He fed off what the fans said, especially on the road. He could hear any number of people from the 19,000 people in Utah. They were really tough on him.
Remember when he was sitting on the bench? 5.
Yeah. Counting his rings. I mean, spectacular.
Yeah.
No player thrived off the crowd more than Kobe Bryant. I'll tell you that, BT.
Hey, Jeter.
Yeah.
If Mike Bresnahan went to games at Staples like I do, he would know we need fans.
Yeah, I believe it.
I'm at that empty arena, Mike Bresnahan, where you have not been since, I don't know, last
Mike Bresnahan.
That was like 3 Mike Bresnahans in one segment there.
Come to a game, Michael. Francis. Show up to a game, Francis, please.
BT, I got a question for you.
Yes,
it's not about courtside Karen either. Jokic, Embiid, Kawhi, LeBron.
I know where you're going.
We're talking the best of the best right now. Everyone having great years. Who's your MVP right now? 22 games in.
It's easy. LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
I'm with you, BT.
All places.
But it is close.
It's close.
There have been some really good performances by these teams out there. Embiid has been good, but Embiid hasn't played enough. I mean, not because he's not healthy. They just play some games. The Joker's been great. Kawhi's been great. But for me, it is LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
Yeah, you know.
Wes, is the narrative of LeBron James having that type of year important 22 games in when it comes to the voting months down the road? I mean, he's having a great year and people are talking about him. Last year was all Giannis and...
Yeah, Giannis obviously dropped out maybe the top 5 on some ballots. That team is just not doing enough. Yeah, I mean, LeBron, I was kind of irritated last season. I felt he got shortchanged a little bit. He got, 15 votes? 15 first-place votes out of 100 media members. BT, I hope you're not voting on that last year. I think people might remember that. I know I will. I know you will. We're going to keep talking about that on this show. I feel like he got shortchanged last year. He's a year older. The stats are there. The wins are there. I think he deserves it. You know, Jokic